And welcome back to another Stay Hustling podcast episode. Thank you all for joining us again. Make sure to go ahead and hit subscribe, like, comment. Please go ahead and comment your favorite part of this episode. Well, today, welcome guys. We got another episode. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, damn, I don't want to do this no more. I know you could agree, huh? It feels like with work, anything.
Yeah, it could be a little stressful. It could get a little hard, but, we got a poster that says it all.
Right. Stay hustling,
Mm-hmm.
We forget to hustle sometimes, but that hustle needs to go ahead and continue at all times. You can go ahead and give it up just because we're tired or something. It's like with work too. I think motivation plays a big part into that though. What's our motive to do this, right? We want to go ahead and achieve and succeed in what we want to do. But do we want to put the work in? And a lot of times our body or our mind tells us no. And we got to make sure that we are saying yes, no matter what the scenario is.
At the end of the day, people probably think like we're trying to do this for fame and money or whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, we're really just trying to motivate people. And I want people to understand that because, if people see us one day and they're like, damn, these kids are really talking like life and, making sense, things like that. They're going to like really look forward to watching our next episode and things like that. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree, man. I don't know how old you are but it's like really refreshing to see, I work with you, but It's really refreshing to see like cats at your age kind of having that hustling mentality. A lot of times it's a lot of people want that handout, right? Like, hey, I deserve this because X, Y, and Z. And they just expect things to get handed to them. But you got to work for it. Anything good that comes in life, you got to work for it. Like if you want to, cut some weight or if you want to get some muscle, right? Like that don't come by just
staying home watching Netflix.
No, you can't do that. You got to put the work in. You got to put your sweat, your blood, your tears, all that.
It takes that a lot, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, you can't just wish that to happen overnight. That's all I'm saying. Motivation plays a big part into your life. A lot of people are like, you don't need motivation to go ahead and complete this. But guess what? Sometimes we do, man. It plays a big part because when you're down, there's nothing better than hearing someone out there letting you know it's possible to do whatever your dreams are. When someone's out there telling you, hey, you can't go ahead and achieve your goals, it's awesome to find out that there's someone out there rooting for you. Someone out there that wants to see you achieve. I think that's my biggest motive out there in the world is being able to go ahead and let people know out there, hey, I'm rooting for you. Kind of like you said, bro. It was deep. And honestly, I love that fact that you were letting them know, hey, we're not trying to get famous here. We're trying to go ahead and share what is poised for the person out there,
At the end of the day, people really just want some sort of motivation, And like even if people consider me or you or my friend over here a source of motivation, we're gonna be having a good impact on people.
With that being said, just so people don't think that we're just talking about motivation and not experiencing anything of that, we want you to know that we're all human. We all go ahead and have our days where we don't want to stay motive. Personally, I'm here to tell you my flaws. I'm not a person to go ahead and complete all of my dreams here or my goals or on that pace at all, by all means, but I'm here to tell you that it's all part of our lives, right? I know this plays a big part on us, so that's why I want to ask you, what story do you have where you can relate to motivation and where it's worked for you experiences wise?
There's a lot of things that come to my mind. So the biggest thing that I could say is, I guess, a little bit about myself. My background is I've had to work with people for pretty much all my life. I used to work at a church, so I have a lot of like background in just dealing with other people and having to motivate them, because where I worked at, you have literally everybody and anybody with all different kinds of personality. Having to be kind of like a leader in that setting, you have to find what motivates people. So like finding your why. Why do you want to do the things that you do? Why do you want to lose the weight? Is it because you want to be vain? Is it because you're trying to show somebody up and be like, oh, I'm doing it because so-and-so is doing this? Or are you trying to be like, well, homegirl left me, so that's why I'm trying to lose weight and trying to look good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You got to find your why. And like when you really define what your why is, that it could be anything. As long as you're honest to yourself, that probably is a great place to start for motivation. If you know why you're doing certain things, right? Like, if my goal was I want to get this job because I want to make money. Well, why do you want the money? Well, then you spell it out for yourself, right? You break down why you want these things. Like for me, I want to get married. I want to have a house. I want to have a life. So I've spelled it out and I've made it plain to myself. It's like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing that. And putting it there right in front of me is like a constant reminder of like, I'm making the money because of that. And I got to stay true to that. No matter what that reason is. And things change. You go through different times in your life. You have different experiences. There might be times where people try to sway you one way or the other. But at the end of the day, you know why you're doing it. And I think that's a huge motivating factor of why you do certain things.
That's deep.
I love that. Have your why. Know
the
your
why.
Know your why.
That is crazy because a lot of times we have a motive or a goal, but we don't have the why.
Don't know why.
You don't have a good reason to do it.
You don't have the why. And
you're
if
not
you
honest
have
with yourself.
if you have the why, guess what? You're gonna hustle 10 times harder.
Exactly, because you know what you're working for.
That's deep.
And the payoff is so much sweeter when you actually get that result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you finally get that goal, it's like, oh, I did it. And I didn't do it just because I wanted to do it. I did it because of this reason. And the payoff is like the best feeling in the world.
And you look back on every step that you took before you finally achieved your goal and you're like, damn, I really took it to these extents to get where I'm at.
It's a hustle.
Yeah.
It's a hustle. It's a grind.
You know what I love about that though? You push yourself to new limits. And when you push yourself to new limits, you go ahead and discover new things that you didn't know that you could do. And from there, you know that there's more to it. I think that we all can agree on that.
Yeah. Then you can see how much you're capable of, because you're like, okay, I can do this. What's next? You know, I could take it to the next step. Yeah. I can move a little forward. I can find a new goal and ask myself, why am I doing this?
That's deep because that's facts, man. You know, you got to know the why. Wow. I never even looked at it that way, but thanks for sharing that. You know, I know a lot of people out there will go ahead and understand it that way. There needs to be a purpose. Without a purpose,
find your reason.
You're nothing. Yeah. With that being said, you know, we want people out there to go ahead and hustle 24/7. Go ahead and make sure that you're able to get your next step going so you can go ahead and achieve your goals, your dreams, because it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
You know, with that being said, what do you think, how much do you think consistency impacts on your dream or your goal and your motive? Because you see, we can go ahead and go hard one day, but what about the next day? You know, if we don't stay true to ourselves every day, then we won't be able to achieve that. Now, that happens a lot in life, though, where we may think that we have one day figured out and the next day you don't.
Yeah. Consistency is probably one of the most important things that you can think about, right? When it comes to like motivation, it all kind of ties together. Like we were talking earlier before we started this podcast, when we started recording, he's like, oh, I want to play guitar, man. And like you asked me, like, well, what's the biggest thing that you can get me? Practice every day.
Consistency.
Consistency is king, right? And here's the thing, man, you're not going to sound good. In fact, and the thing is, you know you suck, but you have to start somewhere. Like Beethoven had to suck at one point.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Beethoven. It doesn't matter. You can take this to music. You can take this to boxing. You can take this to any sport. Michael Jordan had to, like, suck and miss free throws at one point before he started making free throws, right? Like, practice every day, even on the days where you don't even feel like doing it. And it goes back to your why. Why are you doing it, right? It's all this just ties together because your why is going to drive your consistency. You know what I'm saying? And you're not doing it out of convenience. You're really doing it because there's that purpose that's driving you. You know what I'm saying? So consistency, just doing it every day, every single day. Seeing that, like, having your whys there, it's going to push you. It all interrelates to each other.
When the days that seem like don't matter are the ones that count the most.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's good to have the fame and fortune, but those same people aren't in the gym when you're practicing free throws. Those same people that are your haters or your, the people that like cheer you on, they're not doing the work. You are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I had to practice even when no one was looking. That's how you get better.
Yeah, they all cheer for you when you're up, but no one sees when you're down.
Hey, and then they'll grind you when you're on your worst. Like let's go to boxing, right? Like when Wilder lost to Fury, like he was still a great fighter. I wouldn't want to fight Wilder. I wouldn't want to fight Deontay. Would you?
Nah.
But everyone dragged him through the mud because he lost to Fury. So they how do I say this? They want to be with you in your highs and want to drag you in the mud for your lows, and that's what you're remembered by sometimes.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh, snap!
Why is it like that? Why are we as human beings the people that love you when you're up and don't like you when you're down? Is it because we follow a certain person with an idea? What do you think?
I hate
bro?
to say it,
You're
bro,
shaking your head.
Really, I feel like it's just people are like fake friends, you know. They see like, oh, he's winning, I want to be with him. They're with you for a reason, right? They're not with you just to be your friends. They're with you because you have some sort of superiority over them, you know. And I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. Once you're up, people want to be with you. Once you're down, people, when you need them the most, they're not there.
That's life. And life is reality sometimes. They'll go ahead and put you on your toes, you know.
I mean, let me ask y'all this, right? So, how do I say this? It's people don't see the consistency that you put out, but I think, this is not personal opinion, is that people are drawn to the consistency. They're drawn to the hard work, right? And they want almost to live vicariously through your successes, but don't want to put the work that comes in it. They don't understand the pain that comes with that hard work. You know what I'm saying?
They only understand the success because they see what comes with it.
They don't understand what comes with it.
It's just like you said earlier. They're looking for a handout.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it kind of boils down to. That's why, like, consistency, even in the small things, right? Like, again, like I said earlier, we work together, right? Mm-hmm. Have I ever been late?
Never.
Do I show up early, right?
Always.
It's not that... And I've only known you for like a month, right?
Yes, sir.
But here I am in this podcast with you. But what is it that drew you to bring me here to this podcast now?
Because you're a good guy, man.
It all starts with consistency. Like, consistency and character, bro.
Yeah. Like,
it starts with you as a person. You always got to look at yourself and be like, what am I doing that could be better? And just consistently working that out within myself. Like, a lot of this is time together. There's a lot of life philosophy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it starts with you. It starts with what you're doing from when you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep. What are you doing? What's your pattern? What's your habits? What are you putting your time into? You know, it sounds cliche to say, well, stay on that hustle, stay on that grind. But do people really understand what they say or what they mean?
Damn.
When they say that kind of stuff. It sounds regurgitated, but there's a lot of like...
We don't actually put focus into the words that we're saying.
You don't process what you're saying all the time.
Have we really been hustling?
It's the Instagram generation, dog. Instagram and TikTok. We want to live... I think of Instagram and TikTok as like the ESPN highlight reels of our life. Mm-hmm. Damn. But they don't watch the whole game.
They just see the highlights.
You
don't know what happens behind the scenes.
You don't know what they do outside of TikTok. You don't know what they do outside of Instagram. You don't know what they do outside of social media.
They only see the good, but they don't see the bad.
That's why consistency is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
So you doing this right now? I take my hat off to you, bro. Like, I applaud you.
Thank you, bro.
Keep hustling. You guys stay hustling.
Sir, that's what we're doing. Yeah. We're doing that. We're staying solid. We're trying our best.
Us talking about this really brought something to mind. Have you ever heard the saying, the tip of the iceberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, tip of the iceberg, you know?
You only see
all the success at the tip of the iceberg, but at the bottom, have you seen what's at the bottom of the iceberg?
That's crazy. Because you know what's...
Do
you want to know the craziest part about that saying? Is that the rest of the iceberg is at deep water level. Mm-hmm. When it matters the most in life. When we go in deep waters, when the pressure gets to you so hard, how do we come up? How do we go ahead and at least put our head above that water? How do we stay afloat?
Yeah.
Consistency.
I will say, too, that your consistency can bring you up. They can also have the polar opposite. Mm-hmm. They can bring you down. Because if you stay
consistent in the wrong aspect.
Yeah, you consistent in the wrong aspect.
You can't snap out of certain things.
It's hard to break that habit. You know what I'm saying?
Habit.
If you stay eating Reese's all day, that's a bad habit, right?
Yeah.
You stay literally just at home jacking off all day or whatever. What's that doing for you? You jacking off at home when you could be talking to a girl right now. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just be real. Just real talk, right?
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Because just as much as a good habit can bring you up, a bad habit will. Because I've seen it happen. Like, people just start getting to the wrong thing. Seen it happen. They be up here, start doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, and just get in that habit.
Because they left off on that
they lost
paddle
focus.
and focus. Yeah.
And like I said, this all comes together. They're all interchangeable. They all work together. Being consistent, staying motivated. They all work together, man.
Yeah. With that being said, I've seen in my life a lot of times, good talent, people that can make it out there in life, but decide not to. And you want to know why? Most of the answers that I get on why they don't decide to, it's because of that word no.
Oh.
Someone in their life at one point
told them no.
Well,
why is it that word no has such a big impact on us? I'm telling you, I've seen it all. People with the best talent, people with the best intelligence that I've ever seen, but don't try to pursue their dreams or their goal no more.
Yeah.
Because one person told them no.
You want to hear something crazy? You were talking about Michael Jordan earlier, right?
Yeah.
He didn't make his varsity basketball team.
Yeah, huh?
He was told no, and look what happened. He became one of the greatest of all time.
His freshman year, he didn't make it.
He took that no to heart, and he became one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
And what if we all did that? What if we all out there at one point took the word no as a yes?
Well, let me ask y'all this then, right? What does the word mean? Well, what does the word no mean to y'all?
So I'll tell you something, because I was in that mindset before.
Yeah.
Someone once, let me know that my dream was impossible. My dream wasn't feasible because of not having the right marketing, because of not having the right team, because of not, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that word no. Now, I had the option to take that to heart, stay little, never come out again, never try that goal, never try to achieve it, right? But here I am. I'm trying to achieve it.
Yeah.
I took that word no as some form of a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everyone's going to be your best friend out there.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to see you achieve. So I don't know if that person wanted to go ahead and see me achieve. I don't know if that person wanted to see me fail. So that's why I'm here telling people out there, if someone ever tells you no, don't take that to heart. Take that as a yes. Make sure you do that at any point given time. That's my answer to your question.
That's deep, man. So I'll tell you right now, and this is for all y'all listening and watching, no doesn't mean no all the time. It might mean just wait.
Just wait.
Damn.
It might just mean wait. Let me tell you something. So
Whoa.
before we started working together, right? I actually applied for the job way back when, not way back when, but it's still March. So it's March now. I applied for it probably beginning of end of September, maybe early October of last year, right? I talked to our old manager. He liked me. Wanted to hire me. Cool, we in there. We had to talk to
a certain person.
A certain person, he who will not be named, who I fortunately have had not the pleasure of working with.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go there. But he told me no. He told me no. Straight up. Didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Literally called me out of the blue. Didn't know when he was calling, right? I had no idea he was calling me on a day. Didn't say when. Didn't say what time. Said, hey. And then just asked me questions. And then, like, his tone was just very condescending.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
lack of better words. You know him better than I did. But I think that's a fair assessment. He didn't give me the benefit of the doubt. And he said no. Well, I didn't take that as a no. Now, not to bring religion to this, but to me, I'm a religious person. So to me, that was just God saying, wait. Hold on a minute. Just wait.
Wow.
It's going just wait. And I already knew in myself that I was going to get this job. So I wasn't even going to worry about that. Christmas or Thanksgiving goes by, Christmas comes by. Next thing I know, I'm like, hey, out of the blue, by the way, we're having a hiring blitz. Didn't even know that was coming either. We're having a hiring blitz. Go ahead and come down here. We're just interviewing a whole bunch of people, right? And this is going back to consistency, right? This is going back to your motivation, why you're doing certain things and why you're doing it. I knew why I was doing it and I was consistent, right? I remember pulling up to the interview site, right? Not to talk bad about anybody, but you see what I dress as working.
Yeah.
Full suit, look professional, look crisp,
Yes, sir.
shine my shoes, right? I look professional, right?
Yes, sir.
I pull up to the interview site. I promise you, half of these, I was about to say something inappropriate. Half of these dudes were not wearing ties. Half of them didn't shine their shoes. It just looked like a hot mess and a half. I looked at them and said, it's in the little things. So, again, going back to consistency, it's in the little things because these things add up over time.
Detail in life, right?
Detail in life, right? And just being consistent. Excellence in everything. You being consistent to the excellence. I promise you, I feel like, I mean, after everything is said and done, I have the job I'm working with you now, but that small little thing in my life kind of like made me realize it's like, no is not always no. Sometimes it's wait.
If you don't wait, sometimes you could get the wrong answer too, right? And a lot of times you don't want that. But yeah, never take no for an answer. I actually have a story. One of my friends that moved out here applied for multiple jobs, and essentially there was one person that gave him the correct advice and let him know, hey, the small details go a far way. Mm-hmm. If you go ahead and take your resume before they even try to call you back or anything like that, then they'll go ahead and give you a better chance than any other person out there online. He did that. Literally, that small detail went ahead and got him that good job. And it goes a long way. It's the details as well in life. You got to do that fine shining, because it's kind of the way that I remember this is like, you can start fast at a racetrack, but if you don't go ahead and end hard at the racetrack when it matters the most,
how you finish?
It doesn't matter how you start.
It's like the story of the hare and the turtle, right?
Hare and the turtle, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish, and that goes back into details. It's what you're going ahead and essentially going out there.
Yeah.
That story you told me, I hope it's going good for that friend of yours.
Yeah, and it is, indeed it is. You know, he's doing good in life, and ideally he's out there doing it. So
shout out to him.
Shout out,
man. Salute.
Yes, sir. And for real though, don't take no for an answer. That's the dilemma and the overall of this
Sometimes
story.
those wait.
Just wait. I think we all can agree that. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
With that being said, going back into my story where that one person told me no, was someone that I trusted.
Oh.
I trusted this person. I looked up to this person. Does that make sense? So with that being said, what do you think happens when you trust the wrong people, but you think you're trusting the right person?
Trusting the right people, because this is one of those things where you kind of have to learn the hard way sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
You have to be done dirty a couple times before.
You got to enjoy the process for what it is, right? It helps you realize, one, like what you have to offer to the world, right? Wherever you're excellent at, wherever your gift is, wherever your talent is at, you realize, and especially if you're good at it, like you realize that you shouldn't trust certain people, because certain people will give you the runaround, right? And they'll look at you as an asset, but not as a person. You know, Isaac, the rock star at work who helps everyone knock out whatever orders or whatever.
Appreciate it, bro.
But then you have the other side of the coin. It's like, well, he's an asset, but do they know Isaac the person? Like, what's Isaac really like? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that's when you really start to see, like, and this only comes with time, like you really start to see people like for who they are, not in a bad way. You don't want, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you just in things like that, because that's been done to me certain times where like I'll be looked at as an asset more than a person. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the most important thing in life is surrounding yourself around the right people.
You gotta know who those people are.
Yeah, you gotta know who those people
And
are,
that's why,
because
yeah.
I feel like I've had a lot of like friends, you know,
Yeah.
and I feel like
Friends.
right, and you know, like I had to let go of some of those friends because I've seen the people they hang around, and you know, this just like they're in a totally different path than I am. I feel like, not to try to like, toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like I'm on the right path, you know?
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
nothing
just
wrong with that.
simple things like this, like whether it's a podcast and consistently working and like just things like that, you know?
You're trying to do great while others aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest difference. And, you know, we were both in that friend group.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Oh, wow.
again, we
Yikes.
don't mean to try to talk bad on anyone, but
Yikes.
at some point you have to realize that certain people in your life will drag you down.
Mm-hmm.
They won't take you up. They'll drag you down when you guys are doing trouble. And if you ever were to go to jail, those people don't want to take you out of jail. Those people aren't going to go ahead and save you from jail. Those people aren't going to go ahead and be there when you mostly need them. They're only there when they don't.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a big part of that's played in, you know, me just being the person I am is to my parents. Like, my parents have really pushed me be the best person I can be.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
That's awesome.
it's a big part of who I am.
Well, that's going back to what we talked about earlier. Like, no, that's the other flip side of, like, when I say no means wait, but sometimes no does mean no.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, no might just mean you're setting your boundaries and be like, all right, no. Mm-hmm. These are all the only people that I trust. And it's okay to be cool, keeping that distance, and, you know,
I feel exactly
it's
what
okay
you're
to be
saying.
like, we cool, you know, we can work
Yeah.
together, or we can, you know, we can chill or whatever. But my inner circle, sometimes you got to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Going
feel
back
like
to no, yeah.
when we were younger, like, we'd get mad, like, when our parents would say no. But I feel like they tell us for a reason, you know? Like, they knew more. They knew so much more.
They knew more about life.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
And like we'd get all fussy about it, you know, and
Yeah,
we'd be like,
definitely.
oh, like what, like why can't I go out with my friends? But maybe they saw something we didn't, you know.
Yeah, they definitely did, man. And there's a reason why our parents did that too, because they lived through it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we
Facts.
can all agree.
big facts.
But yeah, man, I just want to let people know out there, know who you trust, know your true
Know your
colors,
circle.
and know your circle, and know your circle's true colors as well. Because not everybody wants to see you up. Not everybody wants to go ahead and see that you're doing well. Some people want to see you fail. And you don't know who they are.
Shout out to the haters though,
But yeah, man, they're your
because without the
biggest
haters,
fans.
you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta have the haters too. But yeah, to the viewers and the listeners watching,
You're right though. You do have to have your haters.
You gotta have your haters, man.
And you know why? Because they motivate you.
The haters give you the loudest noise too,
Yeah.
because they hate you if people hate you that much, they give you all that noise, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say no and set boundaries for yourself. Trust in the wrong people. Set boundaries.
I feel you. That's deep because set boundaries is good. You know, with that being said, you know, a lot of times we receive the right advice and sometimes we don't receive the correct advice. What do you think is the best advice that you've ever received in your life?
So for me, it's okay. So I look at failure as probably the biggest thing that you can learn from. Whether it's failure on something that I've done on my part, or just watching the failure of others, watching them go through the pain, because you don't want to. If you see like a kid burn their hand, like they had to learn the hard way, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing or the biggest advice that I had,
The best advice.
the best advice. Thank you. The best advice that I had was when I'm a musician, so we had a Grammy-nominated artist play at our church or come to our church off the blue. It's kind of like a pop-up. Didn't know that they were coming. Had to learn the material in like a couple of days, and honestly, here's the thing. This is where playing with like the big boys separates the boys from the men, because in my mind, I thought I killed it. I thought I did pretty decent. Truth be told, he came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, you did good, man, but it's the little details that matter." And it's not. And for me, here's the thing. I learned that for me, because I'm really hard on myself, To me, that was a failure. Not because it was bad or anything, but because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I wasn't consistent enough, or whatever the case is. So next time to come around, I'm playing for another Grammy artist, and this time, because I had all those things in place, I've learned from all those failures. Right? It prepped me for that next time where I'm like, I'm not gonna fail again, because that was my motivation. Failure was my motivation, and that's the advice I would give to any of you listen or any one of y'all. Like, learn from your mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes, and like really internalize that and be like, why did they fail, or why did they whatever? It's because they failed to do X, Y, and Z. So that's like the best advice I've ever gotten. So learning from failure.
What ended up happening with that Grammy artist?
I'm not gonna lie.
The second time around,
I prepared a lot better this time, and actually, one of our coworkers was actually on that with us. We still kind of failed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it wasn't necessarily a lack on our part. It was more equipment more than anything. But because we were prepared this time around, it wasn't as bad of a failure.
You're able to play it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. No, yeah, I think knowing the best advice out there from someone and you taking it into consideration helps you a lot. I know you could agree as well. What was your biggest and best advice that you ever received?
Best advice I've probably ever received was to never give up. Never give up. You know? If you give up, you're automatically telling yourself you fail. And obviously, like you said, failure is could be the best thing at the same time.
You had to learn through pain.
Mm-hmm. But, I've been taught to always push through, and, like, just kind of...
Don't give up on your dreams type thing.
Even if you have to wing it, or if you got to improvise a little bit, but...
There's been a couple of times where we had to wing it on the podcast. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's...
as long as you don't make it noticeable, no one will ever know.
Hopefully, that's the outcome that we're all shooting for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my biggest and best advice that I've ever received was a person, and this person once told me, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, right? But it's what you do with that mistake.
That's facts. Big facts.
Because we can make a mistake today and still do the same thing over and over for years to come. But we can make a mistake and learn from it. But not only learn from it, apply it the next time you come around.
I love that.
I think that changed my whole perspective. Because anytime I make a mistake, I try to learn from it. You can learn from a mistake. It's easy. You can be like, yeah, I learned not to do that. But next time it comes around, it's how you imply it. It's how you go ahead and make sure that it doesn't happen again. I think that was one of the biggest, best advice that I've ever received.
I love that because you had to learn through the pain.
Yeah.
You had to learn from like the embarrassment, or you had to learn from the physical pain, whatever that is. I love that.
Yeah, man. I think that we all go through hardships at one point in our life.
And that's normal. That's part of being a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, just experiencing that is part of being human. Like I wouldn't consider that, I wouldn't consider you to be human if you didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we all just want to be perfect. Wait, there's no way of being perfect.
Nah, hell no.
I think there's no way of being perfect ever.
Nah.
No. Yeah. Unfortunately,
no way, bro.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like no matter how hard you try, you'll go ahead and essentially have to go through it regardless,
Thanks.
With that being said, the best advice. What's the worst advice you've ever received, if you don't mind me asking? A lot of times we receive advice and it's not the best advice,
That's kind of a tough one to me. I have to kind of think about that.
Me too.
I have to let that set a little bit.
Really?
But if I had to be honest, the worst advice was not asking for help. Let me say that. Let me rephrase that. The worst advice that I've ever received was someone telling me like,
don't ever ask for help type thing.
It was kind of like along those vibes. I don't remember the exact words, but the vibe that came across, or it's hard for me to remember what exactly this person said, but it's like, well, you've been doing this for X, Y, and Z. You've been doing this for so long. You should know everything, kind of vibe. So it kind of drove me to not ask for help. You know, so obviously the opposite is true. You should ask for help when you need help. You know, depending on whatever it is, like whether it's on your job or like even if you need a spot in the gym, there you go. That's a simple life lesson. Like if you're at the gym and you probably put on too much weight, like you put an extra like an extra 10 pounds that you probably shouldn't have because you're trying to go for that personal record. You're trying to go for that PR.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, oh my god, you're trying to push through that. Like you get tired, right? If you keep pushing, that's why you just say help. Then someone comes in, spots you, lifts that up. So much easier, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help because you could literally die if you don't. You know, that bench press. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I definitely agree with you. It's always ask for help as much as you can, because you will go ahead and essentially get the help acquired to go ahead and get you to your next step.
Some help is better than no help, dog.
Exactly. That's so factual. What would you say was the worst advice?
It's a tough one, bro. I was trying to think about it the whole time.
Tough.
He was trying to tell me something, but honestly, I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
You're good,
I have no clue.
That's a tough question.
I have one, and it goes within those lines. You know, the worst advice that I ever received was, "Don't be a learner, be a teacher." And I was all like,
what does that even mean, though?
Exactly. Don't be a learner, be a teacher.
But what if you don't know the material?
Exactly.
So, like, what you're going to teach something you don't know?
That's the biggest thing that I've always told people. You always want to be a learner, no matter what.
Yeah, facts.
Because I will learn something from you that will imply in my life. I will learn something from you that I will imply in my life. Always be a learner.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that teacher if you haven't learned enough. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here to tell you, you want to learn a little bit from everyone. And nowadays you have a YouTube University, you have Google University to be able to go ahead and learn from people, It's the like right people, though. You don't want to learn from the wrong people.
It's like, let's say somebody like, let's say you worked at like a Best Buy or something. And like you have a new employee trying to tell you something, tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And, like, they just started, but you've been there for a while. It's just like,
now, I think that was me on my first day with you. I'm not gonna lie, that was like good, 3 years ago. No, but I was able to learn. I think that's the greatest part about our lives and living is you're able to learn, right?
Yeah. Because
we're not gonna do everything right, but if you can learn from someone,
it's like they say, you got to be a student to the game.
I like that. I like that. You got to be a student too.
You asked that question. I just keep thinking advice that I can give to people. It's like, dang, I can't really.
Yeah,
like,
put you on the
spot.
spot.
I can't think of worse advice.
I put you in the worst position right now. Nah, the reason why I asked that is because I want people to realize that you got to go with what you know is right. Right? Yeah. You can't listen to someone's advice if you know if it's wrong. Like, for example, that guy that told me, don't be a learner, be a teacher. Like, you should always be a learner.
Okay, I got it. Okay, my bad. So I did think of the solid. I did think of the solid worst advice that I got. Is that it's always good to ask questions, but like going back to consistency, going back to like motivation, it's like sometimes it kind of goes back to not all money is good money. So like you can ask questions, but then you can also get to the point where you're asking too many questions, and now you're just kind of getting in the way of yourself because you're just talking just to talk, right? And then you kind of mess it up for other people, right? You know those people that just have to like you're trying to learn something, and then you'll have someone that asks, okay, so I need you to do A, B, and C, and then you'll have that one person that says, so does that mean we need to do A, B, and C? Like I literally just said that. Yeah.
Repeating questions.
So like exactly. Repeating questions, and they're more talking just to talk. So like sometimes it's just better to listen.
Yeah.
Listen so you don't have to repeat it the second time.
Yeah, exactly. So that
less is better.
Less is better.
That's what I heard one time. Less is better sometimes. And then good. That's true, man. You don't want to go ahead and put yourself in a situation where you're just getting carried away. You don't go ahead and view the whole situation the way it
That
should
is
be.
tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. Because then you put yourself in a position where you shouldn't be in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What do you think has been your biggest motive in life?
So there's a lot of things. So family is the biggest thing.
Definitely.
My dad actually raised me and my brother. We had a whole family, but my mom was actually making more money, which isn't the typical, stereotypical, like, it's supposed to be the man that's supposed to be, doing all that. But the one thing that my dad instilled to me and my brother was family. Family's everything. And that's kind of like a huge motivator for me. A lot of the things that I do is because of my family and the people that I consider family, like my friends and stuff like that. And that's my why. That and God. Right, so those are the two big things for me. But that, if I stay true to that, it's really hard to sway me to do one thing or the other, because ultimately it's like, well, if I go take this job, how's it going to affect my family? Or if I go this way, if I decide to do this thing, how's it going to affect my family? My brother, my mom, my whatever. But
Your why.
Your why.
Yeah, your
Go
motive.
back to your why.
What would you say is your biggest motive, man?
Definitely family as well. Family is one of the biggest, most important things to me in life. My mom doesn't live here in Vegas. She lives back home in Reno, Country City. My dad, everyone else lives here, but I feel like my dad has really had such an impact on me because we work together, he definitely pushes me past my limits, and just makes sure I'm always on the right track, doing the right things, making sure all the work that I do is correct in terms of measurements and things like that. And
that's dope, man.
He's always pushing me. My mom too, she's a hard worker, and I feel like that's what motivated me to keep working hard and to never give up, because she's 49, working 2 jobs still, and I want to get her out of that, because I feel like she shouldn't have to work that hard.
No, facts.
Yeah. So, that's literally my biggest motive too.
Family is my biggest motive.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
So and that's the thing, right? So actually today is kind of like a weird day for me. Today is actually I want to say 2003. So it's been 7 years since my dad passed away on the day today.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
sorry
but it was deep
that.
because he taught me a lot of everything that I knew, and going back to family, that's why I do what I do. He's the reason why. And you brought up your mom. It's literally when you said that, bro. My mom's kind of getting up there in age, right? And I was having this conversation with my brother. It's like, bro, mom's about to be 70, whatever. She's about to be 78 in about how many years? We got to get our ish together, bro. Mm-hmm. We got to because I don't want my mom to live, and struggle and stuff like that. I want to take care of my mom. Mm-hmm. Not because of I have to, whatever. No, I legitimately want to take care of my mom. Mm-hmm. That's why I do a lot of stuff that I do. That's why I'm at this job or where I'm at or whatever I do. Everything is for family.
Yeah.
I definitely could touch up on that, because my biggest motive is family as well. Now, why is it my biggest motive though? It's that why. You know why that's my motive? Because I'm scared to let my family down. I'm scared to let that why down.
Yeah.
Right? We all want to go ahead and achieve, but if we don't have some sense of motivation, then you're not truly going to go ahead and get there with a motive. You're going to get there because, you either got lucky or
you want to tell your parents you were a success story, bro.
And that's my biggest fear, is not being able to. Mm-hmm. And that's why I push every day. I don't give 100%. I give 110% when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every day.
Even the days that I don't want to wake up.
Let me tell you, today was one of them days. I did not feel like doing it, bro.
Yeah.
I did not feel like pushing it.
I bet, bro.
I wake up at 4:30 every morning, and sometimes I'm just dang, maybe 5 more minutes will just help, just a little more. But
consistency.
You wake up with the reason.
It's that consistency, dog.
Mm-hmm.
That why.
And you gotta stay hustling, man.
Stay hustling, bro.
Stay hustling.
You gotta stay
true
hustling.
to the hustle, man.
You got to stay hustling. You gotta stay grinding. You gotta go ahead and stay on your toes, because if you're not on your toes, someone's gonna come by and knock you down. That's why I'm here to tell you. Make sure that you're able to go ahead and make your stance correct, to go ahead and make sure that no one knocks you down, that you achieve in life, that you go ahead and dream it and accomplish it in life. Because if someone sees you on your toes, they're going to bring you right back down. That's what I'm here to tell you guys. Don't let anything ever stop you. Keep going. The light of the tunnel is at the end, but you can see it towards the end as well if you get there. So we got to push in. We got to keep going no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, that's good, man.
No matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
We get in our heads and we get in our feelings a lot of times where we tell ourselves, nah, we can't do this. Nah, we can't go ahead and accomplish sometimes. Because sometimes we don't need somebody to tell us no to not chase our dreams or accomplish our goals. Sometimes it's ourselves. And if that's you out there, go ahead and understand what you're capable of before you tell yourself no. Go ahead and understand that you're able to go ahead and achieve everything. Go get it.
That's
deep.
That's good, man. That's good, man.
Because it's true, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes
a lot of people want to live that luxury lifestyle, but have the convenience of just chilling back and doing nothing, bro.
Yeah. They think it's gonna fall in their lap, and it's not. That's why I'm here, bro. I'm trying to tell people out there.
Yeah.
If you're the person telling yourself no, at least someone told you no and you had a good idea, right? Even then, you should still going. Yeah. But if you're telling yourself no, or I can't, or you make up excuses for yourself, then you got to change that mentality. You got to change that mindset. Because if you don't, you're never going to go ahead and see that light of the tunnel. You're never going to go ahead and see that why succeed.
Yeah.
That's why we got to keep pushing. You got to stay hustling.
Stay hustling, man.
And I seen a video, and I don't mean to be cliche or anything, but the video went something like this. What if you died, right? And on your deathbed, you go ahead and see 6 people around you. Those 6 people are 6 potential people of yourself. And they told you, hey, Neil, hey, Hera, this is what you could have been if you push this extra amount.
What are people going to say after you're gone?
Sorry, what was that?
It's like, what are people going to say after you're gone?
Exactly.
Like, what kind of legacy you living, bro?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to die today and someone had to give your eulogy, what would they say?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what people would say at mine. It's not even being to my own horn, but like just knowing that the character that I built up for myself, being consistent, like all these things that we've talked about, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these people would say the same thing. And I've only known you for like.
I definitely could say the same thing, though,
like I've
man.
known you for only a month, but like legit, if I had to speak at your funeral, God forbid, right? That's not gonna happen. But like, I would say that Isaac's the hardest working person I've ever seen in my whole life. Got a good head on his shoulders, and like he knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to get what he needs to get.
Thank you, bro. That's deep. I really appreciate it, bro. That actually means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I definitely can go ahead and say the same about both of y'all.
Appreciate it.
You guys go ahead and try to accomplish your dreams and your goals.
Yeah.
And that's my utmost respect for anyone out there trying to do that. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. No, it's been great vibes today. I really appreciate you coming by, man.
Yeah, man.
And as always, there's always more to come, right? There's always going to go ahead and be more achievements to come. After you achieve one, just because you achieve one accomplishment doesn't mean you stop right there, right?
Yeah, that's only the beginning.
That's the only.
Hey, we only starting, bro.
You're only starting. No matter how many times you've accomplished something, you should never stop till your casket drops, is the way I always see it.
That's facts. Man, that's deep.
Right? So with
Don't
that,
stop till your casket drops.
I'm
going to steal that, bro.
Yeah, you have to, man.
I'm going to steal that.
You
that
have to, man. With that being said, though, thank you all for tuning in with another Stay Hustling podcast episode. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe, comment, like. And guess what, man? There's more to come. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it.
Bell? Y'all don't hit the notification bell? Hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. I don't know.
On God.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.